Good morning, everybody. Let's do a drive-in video a la Daniel Grano. So actually today is the third day on the Wsope for me already. Yesterday, on the first day, I didn't play. I just checked out the scene, made some footage for the vlog. And yesterday I played the mini main event. It was you will see the stats over here somewhere. Unfortunately, I busted all the hand reviews you will see in a second, and yeah, didn't went that well. Unfortunately, I was pretty caught dead. I was extremely bored dead, and no chance for me to run it up. But that was yesterday. Today, the next plan, my next event, actually the one I'm mostly looking for, it's the Colossus. Colossus today, day 1B. Yesterday, day 1A was cancelled. Unfortunately, the King's Casino is totally understaffed. There's a big minus point here for the whole series, unfortunately, which also affects the cash game scene. So they almost only provide cash game pot limit Omaha, and the smallest limit is 5.5 and higher, and the smallest no limit card game Texas card game I can play, it's 5.10 and higher. So it's unfortunately way over my budget. So it looks like no cash game for me, but it's not that bad, because anyway I came here for focusing totally on tournaments. And yeah, today hard grind on the Colossus. I have 2 bullets. Hopefully I don't have to use both of them. And goal for today, to back a big bag. Yes, that's my plan for today. And the thing is, today is Thursday, and on the weekend the Colossus will run all weekend long, with Sunday is the second day, on Monday is the final day. And player wise, it will be the largest event definitely for the series. We had 7 starting days, now 6 with the one from yesterday cancelled. And on the weekend there will be players rushing into casino from all over close by Germany here. It will be full, it will be crazy, and I don't know, this I really hope I can bag one today, then I have 2 days off and can just relax and maybe play some cash game or do something else, and then come back on Sunday for day 2. That's my plan, my hope. And yeah, I'm prepared, I'm focused, and let's get to it. So just arrived at the casino, beautiful King's Casino in the middle of nowhere. Let me show you the scenery. This is how it looks like. There's actually just one casino. There's another one on the other side with some hotel, but this is the main spot we want to hit today. So I'm pretty early, pre-registration. Tournament starts in 2 hours, but it's a 500 cap per day, so the overrun will be crazy. And I just do the registration, then I go for breakfast, easy and calm, get myself down, get myself mentally prepared, and then let's grind. Go. Okay guys, the first hand we're talking about, it's in the first level. Blinds are 100, 300 and antes 300. We have a starting stack from 100k. There's no particular read on any opponents, so the hijack opens for 700. I'm gonna cut off with king queen off. I decided to raise to 2200. Everybody folds goes back to the hijack. He likes to call. Flop comes really favorable with queen 9-3 rainbow. He checks over to me. I like to c-bet here for 1700. He calls. Turn is the 8 of spade, brings a second spade on the board. He checks over to me, and I like to continue with a roundabout half pot size bet for 4500. And now he likes to min click for 10k. Usually it's a sign of strength, because he gives me the best possible price and odds. But my hand is way too strong to fold just yet, so I decide to call. And the river brings a king of spades. Brings me 2 pair, but also the backdoor flush draw gets there, and he checks over to me. I'm thinking for a second to turn my hand into a bluff, but since I have maximum showdown value, I just like to check back and see what he got, and he shows me pocket ace for turn set. So I think my bluff could have gone through, but it's the first level, so I don't want to go too crazy. On to the next hand. So the next hand is still in the first level. It falls all the way around to me to the button. I have 10-8 in clubs. I decided to open for 900 small blind calls, and the big blind raises to 4,000. The big blind is a pretty capable player. He's a French guy. So far what I can see, he's pretty loose aggressive and he tried to dominate the table. So I have a pretty good hand. I like to call, and the small blind folds. So we're going to a flop which comes 8-5-3 to spade. He checks over to me, and even though I have top pair, I don't want to get re-raised and blown off of my hand. I like to check back and see what happened on the turn. Turn brings the 10 of spade, which gives me 2 pair again, but also brings the front to a flush draw. He checks over to me, but now I can go for value, because any one pair holding like ace 10 for example, any pair like queens, jacks, nines will give me a call. Also any spade holding will give me a call. So I like to bet for 4,000 into a 9,200 pot, and he likes to call. The river brings another spade, which actually is not good, deuce of spade, and now he likes to lead out for 14,300 into the 17,200 pot. And now I was thinking, so if he has like a bigger pocket like queens, jacks or nines, then I see him check calling, because he has to be scared that I'm sitting in position with a ace high, queen high, king high suited hand. Like I mentioned before, he's a capable player. He absolutely polarized his hand, so not flush or nothing. And I'd like to call, but because my hand is too strong and I beat all the other hands. And he shows me ace-5 of clubs. So my call is a little bit loose, but it was just the exploitative decision I took at this stage, at this point, and it was right. So in this next hand we jump over several levels. So we're level 4, blinds are 300, 600, 600. Effective stack is still 100k. Under the gun +1 opens up for 1500. It falls over to me in a cutoff, and here's my first mistake. Oh, by the way, this hand is horribly played in all the streets, so check it out. I like to call with ace-jack off. My idea at this moment was that I definitely sit in position, but ace-jack off, especially for my undergun opening, is 100% all the time raise or fold situation. But here we go. Button and small blind fold, and the big blind raises to 4,600. The undergun player decides to call, and here my second mistake. I like to call as well. Never is this a call, is 100% a fold, since big blind raises into 2-player, especially one from under the gun, so his range is definitely top heavy, and the call from under the gun in position on the big blind is definitely really strong, so definitely the wrong call. But here we go 3-way to the flop, which comes ace-5-3 with 2 clubs. Big blind continues to 6,000 into the 14,700 pot. Under the gun player decides to fold, and now I'm hooked to the pot, so I like to call. The turn brings a 9. The pot is 26,700, and the big blind continues his story for around half pot size bet for 14,000. This is 100% a fold. I don't beat any value hands, but I'm stuck, so I'd like to call, and we go to the river. The river, already the pot is about 55,000. The river brings a 10, so from this point I actually don't beat any value hands. Maybe I'm already drawing dead when he holds the last remaining pocket aces. And my idea was on the turn already that I fold to any bigger bet size bet on the river, but somehow he just bet 17,000 into the 55,000 pot, so I get a massive good price. And here's my mistake number 6, 7 or 8 or something in the hand, and I like to call. And of course he shows me pocket aces. Yeah, this was played horrible on all the streets like I mentioned, and I punted off a big chunk of my stack. In these few hours I played in a tournament, I run into a lot of weird hands, and here's a very good example of one of them. So we are one level later in playing 400, 800, 800. I'm roughly about 55, 60,000 stack, so still pretty deep. And I'm sitting in a big blind and with ace king off. So what happened is, under the gun likes to limp, and he's a French guy, recreation player, really funny, but he plays a really weird game of poker. He just lost a big hand like 2 hands before, and he was really on a tilt mode, but still on a fun recreational mode. And since he limped, he created an avalanche of limpers. 4 other limpers limped as well, so they come to me, and I'm in the big blind. I'm thinking about to shove here and just collect all the dead money in the pot, but since I have a pretty strong hand and we are still pretty deep, I like to have at least one caller and get some value. So I decided to raise big to 6,000, and now the French fun guy likes to just call. He has about, starting with 36,000 in his hand, and he just put in 1 chip, likes to call. All the other player folds and heads up to the flop. I really hope for a good flop, because I put him on a smaller pocket or like a suited Broadway card. The flop is everything but not good. It's 10-4-3 all in hearts. I have no heart in my hand. I check over to him, and he instantly shoves his remaining 30,000 stack into the 16,000 pot. Nothing to do here. I open fold, show him the ace king off, and that he got lucky, and he shows me a pocket 4s. Like I said, really weird hands, and that's actually also the last hand I wrote down. 1 level later I busted. I can't even remember the hand because I didn't put it down. Remember I shipped down a little bit and shoved and lost the flip, of course. Yeah, there was nothing else I could do in this tournament. No chance to run it up, no chance to make anything happen. So I tried to forget it and just to focus on the Colossus. Okay, how about crushing the Colossus? The tournament I was really waiting for, the tournament I was preparing for, the tournament I was really looking forward to play. Let's crush this one, shall we? Let's go. Unfortunately, my happiness was short while after they announced, let's put 10 people on the table for a table of 8-handed usually, because of course they have no dealers, and not just quitting any flights, they're also like putting 10 people on whatever. You know how comfortable it was. So we go for the first hand. It's level 2 actually. We play 100, 200, 200, and the effective stack is 20,000. And you definitely see how this tournament will go for me just in this first hand. So here we go. 10-handed. Under the gun opens for 500. There are 4 callers. I'm on the button with 8-7 suited, really nice hand. I call as well, and the blinds call as well. So we go 8-handed to the flop. Why not? Here we go. The flop comes 9-7-3 rainbow. It goes all the way to the hijack, which bets 1,200. It falls around to me on the button. I like to call here. I have middle pair, backdoor draws, so I'll sit in position. And the big blind calls as well. The rest fold. So we go 3 ways to the turn. The turn is a jack. Now we're checking all the way through. And the river comes to 7. A beautiful sighting. I make trips on the river. He checks over to the hijack, but bets 1,200 again. Really small sizing, so I don't put him on a strong holding. So I'll raise to 3,200 just to get a crying call from him. But instead, the big blind decides to call, and the hijack folds. I show happily my trips, and he does the same, just with a better kicker. How is that possible? Anyway, on to the next one. After losing some chips here and there, 2 levels later, blinds are 200, 400, 400. I'm in a big blind. I wake up with jacks. The middle position, the hijack and the cutoff, they're all limp. It goes over to the small blind, which decides to put in his last roughly 19 big blinds into the pot. I have roughly 29 big blinds in front of me. Nothing else to do to jam here. Other people folds. So we go to the run-up. Runout is King Queen 10 with 2 diamonds. Turn is the 4th diamonds, and of course he's the only one who holds a diamond. So I already see myself wishing the ships goodbye. But somehow on the river there's a black 8, so I scoop the pot. Luckily for me that the small blind jams pre-flop, because if I just would have raised pre-flop and one of the other guys would be in, I would definitely lost the pot. On to the next one. This hand is a weird one again. We are 2 levels later again. We play 300, 600, 600. Middle position opens for 1500. I'm gonna cut off with pocket tens. I like to call. It goes over to the big blind, which now throws in 1 chip of 5k. The dealer announces it's a call, collects all the chips, and after the dealer gives the spare chips back to the big blind, he looks confused and said this should be actually a raise. After some talking and explaining 1 chip call rule and everything, we go on to the flop. It's a little bit concerning when the big blind tries to raise over 5k into 2 other components. So let's go with a little bit caution to the flop. Flop comes King 6-6 Rainbow. They check over to me and I check as well, even though there's like some merit of betting. If the middle position would hold a king like ace, king, king, queen, I definitely see him betting there. And if the big blind is really strong, I definitely see him continuing. So a bet would be merit to get the big blind off of his maybe better pocket like jacks or queens, and to represent the king, and to get the middle position to fold any ace highs. But like played, I check and we go to the turn. Turn comes to 9, brings also the 2nd spade on the board, and it checks over to me again. This time I check again, but this is definitely too passive, so definitely on a turn I latest have to put in the bet like 50-60% size. So if I get a call on the turn, I still have the betting lead on the river and can check back any bad rivers and get to a quite cheap showdown. But like played, I played pretty cautious in this hand, and we go to the river. River is the queen of spades, so backdoor flush gets there. And now the big blind leads out for 4200. Middle position folds quite quickly. I go in the thinking mode, and I was thinking what can he represent. After some thinking, I decide to call, and he shows me the goods with pocket kings. Yeah. Welcome. If you're wondering why this looks like an island, then it's because I'm back on Malta. Unfortunately, I have to cancel my trip to King's Casino to check early. A lot of reasons. The first reason is the King's Casino was really understaffed, so they have like over 30% less dealers than they should have. A lot of cash games got cancelled, only high roller cash games were running. A lot of tournaments were cancelled, even day 1 flights from the Colossus I was playing was cancelled. So a lot of stuff going on there, was really not that great. And then since from today actually the Czech government give out the warning, the new corona warning for a lockdown for 30 days. That means that the casino has to close till 10 p.m. every day now. So, and they're restricted to 1,000 guests inside the casino. So they already changed the schedule a little bit, and all of that. So a lot of trouble back and forth. I decided to quit it where I was. Then I said, okay, stop. Let me go back, and then. Really unfortunately, I was so looking forward for it. I was prepared, I was trained, my mindset was on it, but it wasn't the right direction. I took an early flight, so I'm in the middle of the day, back on Malta now. And yeah, I will keep on grinding here on the Malta scene for the next months. And then going home in December, back home to Germany for the Christmas time. And then I will make a new plan for the next year, where I'm going to head out for playing poker, like trying to become to go full-time poker. But I'll definitely keep you updated. If you get so far as right now, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for every like and comment. Highly appreciate it. And yeah, we'll see you soon. Thank you.